Hello, my name is Paulina Ariel, and today I want to tell you how technology is used in SLAS by primary department. So I have interviewed teachers from lower primary, first to second grade, and these were the questions that I've asked them. Question number one, what types of technology do you use on a daily basis in your classroom? What are the most common problems or challenges that arise while using technology in class, and how can you anticipate them? Do you think technology makes your lessons more engaging, and how and why? Why do you enhance differentiated instruction in technology-based lessons? How? How do you evaluate the technology usefulness in the classroom? Do you think the students can reach the same learning outcome using technology versus without? For example, using pen and paper, pencil and paper. What other skills do you think students learn using technology in class? Does it align with 21st century skills? What apps do you wish to use in the future in your classroom? So these were the questions. So I put together responses from our teachers, and that's what I've got. So first question, teachers use FunTimer, Seesaw to share documents, BrainPop, Dojo, and we use apps on iPads like Prodigy, Puppet Pals 2, Raskits, Extra Math on actually daily basis. What challenges these teachers face or might face, and how can they anticipate them? All the teachers said Wi-Fi is a big issue in our school, and actually it is a big problem because some of their iPads would be working, some of them not. So students have to wait for a very long time for one page to load. To anticipate the problem, teachers try to preload the apps or prepare materials for a backup plan. Lower level students seem to struggle to work independently, so you can pair them up with different ability level students for a couple of times to allow peer teaching. So whenever students are having troubles, either a teacher supports them or you just pair them up. About engagement in lessons and which one they think is more engaging, both teachers agreed that technology based lessons are more engaging as it is interactive. They are more excited to use it, students. Students are already familiar with the platform and feel more comfortable using it. It is something that they use outside of school as well, so it is connected to their real life. Plus, it is a relatively new approach at school, so students get really excited when they get to use iPads. Because also at home they're restricted to certain hours of using iPads. How do you differentiate the instruction? And actually most of the apps do it already for you. For instance, Prodigy and Extra Math differentiate according to the level and students' performance. EduCreations, it's another app that can be used for basically any subject. Can be differentiated by, for instance, higher level students can draw, label, write, while lower level students who are struggling with writing can draw and record their voice. Apps like Seesaw are a recording device, so students will be differentiated by their outcome. BrainPop, for instance, has captions and media, and it uses good language, however, it is still child-friendly. How teachers evaluate if the app or the technology-based lesson is useful and it met the goal. Both teachers said they evaluated by observation. They use and they see whether it is enhancing their learning outcome or it's having no effect at all, or it's not different from pencil or paper. Prodigy, Extra Math, and Raskits send reports to teacher account where you can see what they've mastered or where they struggle. So it's very useful because you can see it right there, and you can plan your next class or your smaller groups according to the areas where students struggle. Next question. Students can reach the same outcome or even better as they also learn the skills that are needed to function with the technology. They learn to look for necessary information. They can make small adjustments without starting everything all over again. For instance, in writing class, if they made a mistake, they erase, or they have to rewrite the sentence or rewrite the whole piece from the very beginning. However, in using technology, they can just go back, or they can erase, or they can make small adjustments without starting everything all over again. And it takes the stress away. Which 21st century skills they use? Teachers mentioned research skills, because it is very important for students to learn to skim through the text and actually find important information. Typing skills, which students seem to be struggling with, as we've noticed in the past years when they were typing Meet the Author for Authors page. Communication and becoming digital citizens, learning how to use technology in a safe way, and also becoming global. So they can also like communicate with other students from other countries, like those writing pals, things like that. So which apps teachers hope to use in the future? And teachers mentioned apps that can promote more creativity and research skills. In Teach Now, there was a beautiful article written by Jennifer Gonzalez, if I'm not mistaken, and she suggested Book Creator and Flipgrid, which I absolutely loved. Especially for Book Creator, it could be such a great resource for students to create narratives, fairy tales, as they can also take it home and keep doing this task at home. Flipgrid can also show creativity, as students can present their response in different ways. So I hope to use, and we hope, because I shared with my coworkers those apps, to use those things more often in the future. As I know that, for example, Sway Microsoft is pretty expensive, and it also depends if the school is willing to purchase this for the class. So lesson plan. I will attach lesson plan to submission page. So in this lesson plan, a mix of teacher-led and student-centered and technology-enhanced approaches were used. Their lesson objective was main idea and details and research skills. The lesson started with the teacher reading Bigger, Faster, Stronger to hook the learners into informational texts and what are informational texts. Teacher introduces main idea and supporting details. So to start off, teacher needed to model how to use and how to research and how to use website, iPads, QR codes. So teacher models how to use QR codes to access research websites and look for details to support their main idea. After that, teacher writes down 3 more details found on the website, so that's where it comes to the mix of technology and paper pencil. After modeling, a clear and child-friendly rubrics is given to students to keep track of their own learning. So I liked giving rubrics because during this activity, students take control and responsibility of their learning by making a choice. First of all, they chose the topic to research. They were managing their time, how much time they're going to use for looking for information, evaluating the information. They had to evaluate their resources. Is it relevant or it's not relevant? Does this detail support my main idea or not? So this also aligns with a lot of ISTE standards. So before reading, students are encouraged to write down one fact that they already know about the topic, which I think is a great thing to access their background knowledge. And After filling the first detail, students were given iPads. Students will be prompted to research their topic further, gathering 3 more facts about their main idea, and put it into graphic organizer. Students will be prompted to use certain sites via QR code if needed. So a variety of websites were given: NASA, National Geographic, and some other resources were given through QR code. How it was differentiated? It was differentiated by online book levels. Higher level students were able to access, with the help of a teacher, different sites and try to research in Google or things like that. It was a bit more complicated. However, that's the way the lesson was differentiated. The teacher will be walking around facilitating discussions and constantly helping students reflect, critique, and adjust their learning based on teachers' comments and feedback. So, which also correlates with IST teacher educator standards. So the outcome was differentiated. Students were encouraged to represent their work through writing a new book, making a speech, making a video, creating audio recording, or any other visual or auditable display. So after they fill in the graphic organizer, students were to make a book or speech or a video or an audio recording about their animal, planet, whatever they chose, wherever topic they chose. So, which also promotes creativity and gives students freedom to show the outcome. And also they could use the variety of technology to show their outcome. While planning here is the QR codes that were used. So when planning this lesson, I had to keep in mind the checklist. Will all my students be equally successful when using this particular technology or app? Will they all be able to find relevant information? So this was basically one of the most important questions when I was planning the lesson plan. Can my student extend their learning and take it beyond the classroom? Will they be able to have access to it at home? So can they access the same websites at home? Can they keep going with their report if they choose to make a video, for example, or something else at home? Will my students be able to perform the learning outcome better using technology or not? So can they do it better with their online resources, or should I have given them a book from the library to research it? If there are some iPads Wi-Fi issues, what is a backup plan? What materials will be needed? And of course, you never know how Wi-Fi is going to work. So definitely we had books, which we really hoped that our Wi-Fi was working. So how will I assess students' outcome? We had very clear rubrics, and their outcome will be assessed by one of those choices: audio recording, video, booklet, the choice of the student. So that was the lesson plan analysis, and I tried to put IST standards, both educators and students, into planning it and into analyzing the lesson plan. So now I finish.